Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and we have some crazy summoning events happening not only this weekend, but actually through into next week as well. In fact, looking at these dates, I'm pretty sure we're going to have summoning events running for basically a week straight. It's going to be pretty nutty. A quick bit of news before we talk about these summoning events as well, which may be intriguing. Of course, if you're waiting for the fusion calendar, I don't have it yet, but I will give you my full guide to doing this fragment collector, this fusion collector, if you are interested. Now, one of the interesting things, just to mention it very quickly in this video, because it might affect your decision whether to start going for this right now, could be actually quite a big impact. We're getting a lot of fragments per event. There's 15 up for grabs in Ice Golem. Now, the reason I'm saying this is that we have information that we have super raids in Ice Golem starting on Friday, and then on Monday we've got super raids for Fire Knight. Okay, so Ice Golem today, Fire Knight on Monday. What we don't have, and they usually tell us, we don't have any information on further super raids, so I think it's very, very possible that this might be a maybe just a 1 week fusion. I think that's actually quite possible, and that it's just going to be a week series of events rather than 2 weeks. And what that means in particular is that there might not be a champion chase associated with this. It might be just for the summon rush. So if you're going for any of the champions we're going to talk about in today's video, you might as well pick this guy up as well, right? You're going to get the hard part, which is the summon rush for free. And yeah, like Ice Golem, by the way, I was throwing this out there. For me, Ice Golem has become the most important dungeon with Hydra because of reflex and taunting in particular. So yeah, there you go. Right, let's dive into this news. First of all, in terms of the there's a guaranteed void. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I just got there's just a message on the content creator chat there at the same time. There's a guaranteed void legendary happening during this event. And it's going to be running for the whole time. So it's basically going to be running for about a week. And that is for Turvold. This is a really big surprise to me. I did not expect Turvold, like, at all. And how many voids is he going to cost? He is going to cost 80 void shards. So if you pull 80 void shards over approximately the next week, once this event goes live, check it, make sure it's up in the portal before you start summoning, you will get Turvold guaranteed on your 80th void shard. This is a pretty crazy one, to be honest with you. This is a pretty crazy one. And there's also a little trick you want to do with this, and I will tell you the little trick if you care about clan versus clan. But he has, decent base stats. He's not the highest attack in the world, but it's pretty damn high. He's got good HP as well. His A1 is a double hitter, which has a, when booked, 75% chance of placing weaken, which is fine. He gives himself increased attack, crit rate, and speed alongside an extra turn. And then his A3 hits really hard. 3-turn cooldown when booked. Double hitter, damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. And then it resets the cooldown if you kill someone. Then a massive attack in faction crypts aura. He's not that amazing as a champion overall. He's not super useful in general. He's obviously an absolute destroyer of the faction crypt, and that is cool. And he absolutely destroys Demon Lord clan boss as well. But outside of that, he doesn't see all that much use. He can definitely blow up like normal Doom Tower and even some harder Doom Tower bosses as just this massive single target damage dealer, but he doesn't see a ton of use. He's not a super meta champion. Now, I am going to be going for this, however. I do not have Turvold, so I'm 100% going for it. And I think a guaranteed void for 80 void shards is exceptionally good. Basically, for me, he's a void I don't have. I want to collect him. And, pulling for these 80 guaranteed voids, you're going to generate many more legendaries than you otherwise would. Now, the only thing against that, of course, is that Turvold may not be super useful for you, in which case it doesn't matter if you're going to get way more legendaries pulling in guaranteed events, as opposed to pulling only in 2x events. If you don't want him, you don't want him. Personally, I'm definitely looking to try him out. I think he looks pretty fun. And yeah, with, Hex especially being buffed and being really good now for Hydra, like Mithrala. I've been using Whisper. Used her in my Brutal team. We won Keep Brutal with Whisper. Check out the Whisper video. So I'm kind of excited to try out some more single target damage dealers. I'm intrigued to see how he does. It's just going to be awkward to stop Mischief stealing his buffs. You're going to need to make sure to have, attack and speed for the rest of your team. But anyway, that's enough of a ramble. There you go. Guaranteed Turvold. Are you going for guaranteed Turvold? Now, let us dive in with a bit more pace, I suppose, and let's talk about all of the champions that are going to be boosted on 10x events over the next week. First of all, on Friday, and running from Friday and Saturday. I think they're 2 days each. Friday, Saturday, 10x events for these legendaries. They're all legendaries from Voids, first of all. So the Voids, we're going to have Rijo Bonespear, who was the previous guaranteed Void. She was 90, actually, compared to Turvold being 80. So good to see that they're keeping it around that number as well. But Rijo is up. She's a really solid champion, really good champion. She's got a great team heal with block debuffs. She's got a ton of debuffs on her A2. Her A1 throws out continuous heals. And the really fun thing about her, I think, is that her passive protects her from things like Hegemon, and Neckmayr in the arena, right? When she gets debuffed, she transfers the debuffs back. So she'll throw back that sleep. She'll throw back the stun, the block, active skills, whatever it is. She can throw them back. So you can build her to be really fast. You can drop her resistance a bit lower, and she can get away with it and then cleanse your team. So she's a really great champion. She's really solid. And I got a lot of comments recently from people saying that they really enjoy her. The next Void that's coming out is going to be in the Barbarians, and that is going to be Ursuga Warcaller. Again, another really good champion. I think she fell off in terms of quality for a while, with Stone Skin sort of making her not as good. But I think with Bolster set coming into the arena, I think she's back in it, guys. So she's got really high HP. Not quite as high as Harvest Jack, who I did a video on in Bolster recently. Check that out too. But she's a really big chunk of health, and she does a ton protecting your team, right? Decreasing the damage, everyone receives some critical hits, and she takes the damage instead. She then has ally protection with strengthen for herself. She's got a really good AoE attack here, which will throw out some debuffs. She's just an absolute tanky unit. You can build her in deflection. I think Bolster is her ideal set. Just put a massive shield on your team and then protect them, and just make your team really difficult to kill. So yeah, I actually think Ursuga, I think with the release of Bolster set, especially if you bought the Forge Pass and you've got lots of good Bolster pieces, she's actually really, really good now. Then we come to the we come to some really insane ones here. Really insane ones. The stick for the ones that are boosted from Ancient and Sacreds. So from Ancients and Sacreds, we're going to have 10x events for Friday, Saturday. For Valkyrie is going to be in there, who is like S tier. I think she's better than the... I think that Rijo and Ursuga are probably about A tier overall, I think. I think I rated Rijo maybe a little low, so I've knocked her up to A tier, I think. It's fair. Valkyrie is S tier. She has a massive shield with counterattack for your team. Absolutely massive shield. And then she can decrease turn meter with this. She's got some turn meter manipulation with her A3, which got kind of counteracted in Arena by Stone Skin, but if people aren't running Stone Skin now, it's really, really good. So she is fantastic, right? Really good shield. I think she's got huge potential for both of the clan bosses, Demon Lord and Hydra. Well, not potential for Demon Lord. We know it's a fact that she's god tier for Demon Lord clan boss. She's in the world record teams and all that sort of thing. For Hydra, I think she's exceptionally good as well. You bring in a Mischief tank, and she just adds a ton of damage at that counterattack, and you don't need too much healing because her shield is that good. So she is extremely good. Then we come to Shadowkin, and we're going to have Lady Kimmy, who I think is also S tier. Increase speed, increase accuracy, turn meter fill, and then a chance to remove a buff from each enemy. Gives you a way to potentially strip off a Stone Skin. This stuff is going to give you the accuracy to hit through Mithrala, all the rest. She's just exceptionally good. She's got decreased speed, decreased accuracy on her A2. She's got the best speed aura for Doom Tower. Just an incredible champion across the board. Arena, she's exceptional. Hydra, she's also exceptional. So yeah, Lady Kimmy, she's got 115 base speed as well, which is nuts. She is so good. And then finally, Kyoku. Kyoku I'd give an A. I don't think she's as good as the other two legendaries here so far, but she's an A tier champ in my opinion. She has, again, really good ally protection, block damage on herself. She's AoE decrease attack. If AoE decrease attack is out there, she can burn. She puts increased defense and heals all allies whenever she is hit. So she's a really good tank for keeping your team alive. She's pretty decent against Hydra on certain rotations to protect you against Head of Wrath. She's very, very good for Demon Lord Clan Boss, though she is difficult to use because of this extra turn mechanic. She can hit really hard too with this triple hitter A1 if the target is 3 or more debuffs. So she's a good champion, but I think a bit difficult to use. I give her an A overall. So those are the ones for Friday. Now for Sunday and Monday, okay, Sunday, Monday, we're going to have another 5 champions. So the Voids, first of all, are really strong. First of all, Hegemon coming in. Hegemon goes first each round. Build him to nuke or build him to CC with Evil Eye and his A1 and a stun set, or with his AoE block active skills. Hegemon is exceptional. Obviously, I think he does struggle more so nowadays. He has fallen off a bit with Stone Skin. He's not good against Stone Skin. He's not very good against Mithrala because she's going to be probably in Stone Skin and she can just cleanse this stuff and protect her team. but he is a very, very good champion overall. Certainly against your typical speed teams in the arena, like he's going to destroy them. So I think Hegemon is extremely, extremely good. He's very good. I'd probably give him an A overall now. I do think that the meta is not as kind to him, but he's just very special with that passive. The next Void is Nekret the Great, who is S tier through and through. This guy is ridiculous in arena. He puts out all of these buffs, and this ally protection triggers a massive shield equal to 30% of his max HP on a target when they take damage. So he just makes pretty much any damage dealer in the game extremely difficult to kill in go second teams especially. He can ally attack then with them. He's just exceptionally good. He is so broken, it's not even funny. One of the best arena defense champions in the game, bar none. So they're the two Void champions. Now we come to the non-Void champions. We got two over here. First of all, macabre. Macabre is really good, guys. Really, really good. People really underestimated him for a long time. I've been using him for quite a while in arena, and he's great. And he's really come into the meta very strongly now. The reason being, he's great in Stone Skin. I had mine in Swift Parry before, but Stone Skin's the new way to go. It's because of this. His passive, 20% chance to unlock Peril when he's attacked, and he can also fill his turn meter. Now, Peril does a double hitter, ignores shield and block damage, and all defense, and it blocks revive. This move hits exceptionally hard. It rips people apart. The only issues with this, Ursuga kind of stops it with her mitigating crit damage, and ally protection as well from like champs like Ursuga can reduce the damage, but if they don't have those things on, this just one-shots people. It's disgustingly good, and it blocks revive, so he's really good to hit through those super tanky teams. He destroys them. He's a fantastic champion. I'd probably give him an A overall. He's very useful for arena. I actually really like him. Then we also have Countess Lix, who's really strong as well, guys. Really strong too. So she comes in with a cool passive if Astralon is on the team. Another cool passive, she gets turn meter when an ally receives a debuff. She can potentially cut in. Then she has an AoE with block active skills that decreases allies' skill cooldowns by 1 turn, which is pretty cool. 5-turn cooldown though. Then she has an AoE decreased speed that also pushes back turn meter, and then she has a double hitter A1 that can place weaken. I think she's great. I've seen her used in Hydra a bit for decreased speed and then for reducing ally skill cooldowns, and then she also potentially gets lots of turn meter herself. I've seen her be used there and be pretty good, believe it or not, which is kind of wacky. And then she's very good in the arena as well. So Countess Lix, also if you got Astralon, she's very good with Astralon, and they also will really rip through waves and Doom Tower and stuff like that. She really brings you so much control over those waves, and she can team up with her A1 with Astralon. So she's a great champion. Again, I'd say probably A tier. And then finally for Sunday Monday, we have Trunda Guilt Mallet. Trunda's definitely S tier all the way. She destroys the lower difficulties of Hydra, where she can just bounce her A2 off decapitated heads, and it's completely busted in the code, like literally broken, and it just does ridiculous things. I'm sure you've seen it. And then she's just insanely strong for arena as well. The easiest, biggest nuke to put out there. She's got crazy base stats, as you can see, like 22,000, almost 23,000 HP. It's just nuts. So she's 80 resistance baseline. She's just very difficult to kill. And this A3 hits really hard. Then her A2 is a second AoE that hits really hard. So she's just very easy to use in arena with 2 massive AoEs. So she's super powerful. S tier, I would say. Finally, on Tuesday. Ooh-wee, Tuesday. And the Lizardmen. Krisk. Krisk is up for grabs 10x Void Shards on Tuesday. I don't really think I need to say anything about Krisk. He is still the best champion for Hydra in the game. He's got the Provoke. He's got Ally Protection that continuous heals himself, lets him tank Mischief, decrease speed A1. Increase speed, by the way, on his A3 with increased defense for himself. Decrease attack, decrease defense on this. Yeah, Krisk is exceptional, really strong, so there you go. The other Void is definitely the weakest Void, I think, of the whole bunch, and that's Gurgo. Gurgo is pretty much B tier for me. He comes in, he does a 2 buff strip that can also freeze, gives him an extra turn, and then he's like extra hits against targets that are frozen. He can also freeze them if they hit him hard with his passive. So he's throwing out some freezes. I do think he combos very well with Yakarl. If you put him with Yakarl the Scourge, I think they're very good together. But yeah, I mean, like, he's a pretty decent... Unfortunately, he's got no accuracy in his base stats, which does suck, and his base speed is low too, which does hurt him a little bit. But he's a decent buff stripper. Yeah, decent buff stripper that does some damage, combos well with Yakarl, but he's definitely pretty niche, I think. So you wouldn't rush out to be pulling shards for him, I don't think. Then we've got 3 new champions. coming from Ancients and Sacreds, 10x. Neckmayr, we had a guaranteed for him recently. Now, Neckmayr is absolutely exceptional. He's so good for Hydra. Every 3 turns, increase speed, turn meter fill, and then decrease speed and leech AoE. And then he's got AoE decrease attack here. Speed aura, fills his turn meter when debuffs expire on the enemy. He is unbelievably good for Hydra. He's also really good, I think, for Doom Tower. Throw him in a taunting set is my favorite thing, and he just destroys. He's like an S tier champion. He is so strong. I remember saying he was super OP, and then people were saying, I don't know if he's that OP. I'm not going for the guaranteed event. I went for the guaranteed event myself, of course, and yeah, I've been just delighted with him. I can't complain. He's just so strong. So yeah, then next up we also have, not in this faction, in Skinwalkers, we've got Ragash, who is also a guaranteed champion recently. He's also going to be boosted on Tuesday and I think Wednesday. So he's got that AoE decreased defense with a stun, increased speed and strengthen for your team, increased defense on himself and his A1. He's got a fun passive throwing out some veils. Ragash is also an exceptional champion, like an exceptional progress champion. That AoE decreased defense with a stun on a 3-turn cooldown destroys arena. He hits really hard. He destroys faction wars for Skinwalkers. He destroys Doom Tower. He's just a great, great champion. He's very good for Hydra as well. You can build him as like a sort of backup mischief tank. Combos very well with Aboro as well with this, or Wuji, if you got Wuji recently too, he's very good there. And then finally, Nicktrack is also being boosted, who hasn't been in a guaranteed, and he's just a really cool champion, really fun. He's all about that reflect damage. He makes reflect damage stronger, although it's still not that good, I don't think, even though he makes it almost twice as good, which is funny. Though he does give you your team ally protection and reflect damage. Then he has an AoE decrease speed with a really good shield for your team. Then his A1 can place decrease attack. His passive places leech. So he's fantastic. He's extremely strong, I think. He's going to be a monster for killable Demon Lord teams. I think he's very good for Hydra. He's going to be great for Doom Tower progress. He's just a really, really strong champion. So yeah, I think Nicktrack is really good. How have people been finding him? Faction Wars campaign, okay, decent in arena, decent for, it's sort of decent everywhere, basically. Very, very solid. But yeah, he's really good. So there you go. They are all the champions. It's a mountain of champions. But you're going to have time to decide what you're going to do. So are you going for Turvold? That's question number 1. And what are you going to pull for? For me, personally, I'm going to be pulling my shards on Sunday, right? I'm going for the Hegemon plus Nekret option. That's what I'm going for. Hegemon Nekret with the guaranteed Turvold. Although the smart thing to do is to pull 79 shards on Sun. If you're doing it like me, pull 79 shards on the day you want, and then pull your 80th shard to grab that Turvold during Clan v Clan for that extra points, because this event should still be running during Clan v Clan. So grab your guaranteed Void Legendary for a bunch of Clan v Clan points during the Clan v Clan. You should also be able to get your Ultimate Death Knight in the final part of Clan v Clan as well. It's going to be a mega whale Clan v Clan. Bearing in mind, another thing, Krisk is up for grabs in the 10x during Clan v Clan. So a lot of the big whales are going to be going for that. If you don't have a Krisk, that's the one to go for, probably. Unfortunately, he's in there with Gurgo, and the Gurgo's not as appealing at all, but Krisk is just so good for Hydra. I'm going for Hegemon Nekret, because I don't have either, and they're both extremely good. Rijo Ursuga for Friday, Saturday is also solid. Like, they're good champions. I just don't think they're as defining as Krisk Nekret would be, even Hegemon. So yeah, but they're good solid options. So if you've got some of the other ones, you might want to pull for that if you're going for the guaranteed. It's definitely something to consider. Let me know what you think. What are you going for? I don't really recommend pulling the Ancients or Sacreds unless you're close to Mercy. They are really good champions, but it's not a 2x event. It's not a guaranteed event for Ancients or Sacreds. So it's not the best. Like 10x is a really bad event for it, but if you're close to Mercy, it can be worthwhile. Anyway, they're all the champions. It's a pretty intense selection. Yeah. Anyway, they're my thoughts. That's what I'm going to do. Let me know, and I will see you soon. I think we actually do have news on the Fusion calendar. Let me double check. Yeah, we do. So I'm going to go check that right now. But I'll be back with a Fusion calendar guide very shortly. Be back in a few.